Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool talk is going to be a Veto Pro Pac video. More particularly, it's going to be about the MB5B. I just got this in the mail. It's part of that spring promotion. I ordered it the very first day. Still waiting on my SBLD, so I'm not going to load it out. I'll do a loadout video at some other point in time because I'm going to load this one out along with the SBLD. So I don't want to use my tools, take them out of this one and put them in this one, because then I'm not going to have enough room and all those things until I get my second bag. But I'm also going to talk about this along with my Blackout Tech MCT, because you can see size-wise they're kind of comparable, but there's advantages and disadvantages in my opinion already just for having this for the little amount of time that I have of both of them. But I think that those are going to make it work. This bag is going to be better for some people, and this bag is going to be better for some people. But I bought this one to work specifically in a 2-bag system. That's what I used to like to run all the time, but space just became a problem in my truck. So this bag has become a little bit heavier than what I want it to be. Now I could obviously still take some of these tools out and put them in a second bag, and that may end up being what I do, but I decided to go with this for a couple different reasons. But I've always run 2 bags before, whether it was my Tech MCT without the Blackout before, and then I'd always run it with the TP4B or the TPLC that's over here. So I'm either going to go with this bag with the SBLD for a little while. I may end up changing that to the TPLC or this one. I'll come back to this one. But again, I thought I'd go over the advantages and disadvantages to me of both, all the features of the MB5B. I'll go ahead and go over that because there might be some of you out there who are looking to take part in that spring promotion and you're just like, I can't decide what bag I want to get. And maybe these are 2 of the ones that you've been thinking about. So hopefully this will kind of help you with that. And then there's also one thing that, and it's not like Veto might have done it on purpose. I don't know if they did or not, but it really kind of doesn't necessarily upset me, but I wish that it worked in a way, because I just noticed size-wise that this one and this one were very similar. And the V-swap, there's something different about both of them, that they could work back and forth with one another, but the reason why they can is because Veto's done something in particular. Again, they might not have done it on purpose, but it would have been nice had they made it to where I could take the panels out of this one and put it in this one. But I'll share that with you at the end. But first, let's go ahead and again talk about all the features of this MB5B, and then I'll talk about advantages and disadvantages between it along with the Tech MCT Blackout. So again, first of all, size-wise, very similar. I actually was a little bit curious about that before I got this one. You know, if you take the meter panels off of the MB5B, it's going to be a little bit skinnier than the MCT, the Tech MCT Blackout. But it's very similar in height. I mean, the MB5B is maybe a little bit taller. I'll put the dimensions up here of what they have on the, on their website and all those things. But pretty similar. So I was actually a little curious. I thought this bag might be way bigger, in all honesty, but it's not. I'm really glad about that because, again, I don't want it to be a big, heavy bag. That's why I didn't buy like a Tech Pack or something like that. Now, the difference becomes whenever the MB5B is wider this way because of the meter pouches, but when you turn it this way, and then you turn my Tech MCT Blackout, but of course this one's loaded down with tools in both directions, so it's kind of puffed out where this one's not yet. This one becomes a little bit wider, and of course the base is definitely wider, I think, on the MCT Blackout as well. So it's a little bit bigger in this way, but again, that's why it ends up being heavier, in my opinion, is because I'm able to stuff it, even though, I could just take some tools out and it wouldn't be as heavy, but you know how we are. If we've got some empty space, we tend to stick stuff in there. So size-wise, very comparable. I was actually a little bit, surprised by that. I thought this one was going to be way bigger. It is a little bit taller, a little bit wider, but it's also a little bit skinnier. So that's the differences in the size. Now, one advantage of the Tech MCT, in my opinion, the Blackout or the regular one for that matter, is you're going to be able to fit more tools. So my suggestion would be, if you're only going to have one bag and you're going to carry one bag, you're going to be able to fit more tools, and primarily you're going to carry tools and not like testing equipment and things like that. This MCT gives you a little bit more room for tools. As you can see here, you're going to have all this room on this side, which isn't much different than that of the MB5B. I can still fit kind of the same stuff in there, and then I've got these pouches up here for tools, but I'm losing that pocket. But where the MCT, Tech MCT comes in is you get to flip it around, and you basically have the same amount of room on the back side as well in order to put some tools in, whereas on the MB5B, I basically just have a laptop, space for a laptop or a iPad or whatever it might be. Now, you can obviously drop some tools or some probes or you know, something probably down in there if you wanted to. But you're going to fit more tools in the MCT Blackout than what you're going to fit in this MB5B. There's no doubt about that in my opinion. Now you can also fit some tools over here in these side pockets, so it's not like you're going to lose completely half of your bag, because that backside half you're going to be able to fit some here, some in these if you want to, because I've got a meter in this bag. So if I actually put tools in both the meter pouches, you know, I would gain a little bit. So I'm saying maybe about a half a bag worth of tools is probably what you're going to end up losing on that. And again, that's just my opinion on things. But the advantage of the MB5B, in my opinion, after I've run this Tech MCT for quite some time, is whenever I open up a bag, I'm just opening up this one side or my side pouches. I don't have to pay attention to, well, this is the side with this flap on it, so that's got my meter and all those things in it. And then this side over here doesn't have that flat pouch, so this is what I call my business end of the bag. So this is the one that's got the bulk of my hand tools. So sometimes you got to flip around because you open the wrong side by accident or whatever it might be. It is kind of nice, in my opinion, that it's all on one side here. I know my tools are going to be in this compartment right here, so that might be one advantage. Just depends on, again, the amount of tools you can fit. I would say advantage goes to MCT, but ease of access and knowing where they are, advantage is MB5B. But another part of that equation is, because you're fitting two different size tools or two different sides worth of tools in this Tech MCT, it kind of pushes your tools out closer to the front than that of the MB5B. They're kind of, this panel is way farther back in there than what this panel is inside the Tech MCT. So that means the tools that maybe, like, here's a pair of long Knipex extended reach needle nose pliers. These are the 2871 280s. So real easy for me to get those in there and pass this lip right here because it's really close to the front. I'm not really going back into the bag. Whereas on the MB5B, by the time I'm getting it in the pocket, it's still out here some because it's deeper back in there, but I still don't have a problem getting them in there. So that's not an issue. So I thought that might end up being an issue as well. So it's not really so much a disadvantage for the MB5B, but it is far, your tools are farther back in there. It's not such an easy access to be able to grab them. They're not stuck out here. Like everything up here in the front right here, that's kind of outside the bag whenever you open it, versus here, everything's back into the bag. But where that becomes an advantage for the MB5B is, especially, let me take this off just so you can see a little bit better. You can see all this floor space that I have in the MB5B. None of that floor space, even though you've got it down in here, because I keep socket sets and stuff like that down there that I have to dig around for quite a bit. All that down in there, I have to dig down in there to get it. I can't see it. It's just something that you got some room down in there underneath of those pouches, the same as what you got here. But because this bag comes all the way down and this bag stops right here with the zipper, so you've got all this space right here, versus here it's a lot less. I can take stuff and just put it down in there in that bottom, easy to see whatever it is. So if you've got some kind of a tester, you know, maybe you want to carry a thermal imaging camera in there with you, you can stick it in there, you can easily get that. So that's kind of nice in my opinion, that you got room for that. You could even probably, you know, I can't fit a M12 Surge inside this MCT because I can get more tools, but because that bag is spaced out, I don't have any kind of like open room for anything. So I can take my M12 Surge, stick it in there after I've got my tools in there, close the bag up. Not going to be a problem for that as well. So again, I think that's another advantage for the MB5B, but it comes at the cost of I'm going to have less tools in here. But that doesn't bother me because I'm going back to 2 bags. So some of the other nice features on the MB5B in particular is, again, you've got this panel here that if you don't need extra tools, if you're going with a lighter bag, you can take this panel off, and it's going to give you more room when you close this, or you can put your most access tools, the ones you want to grab out the most, right here, and then they come out and fall down whenever you open it. You don't have to dig back in there to get them anyways. You do still have a pouch here. It's kind of about the same as this pouch on the MCT, the Tech MCT. This one only goes down as deep as maybe to about right here on the V-swap, about where that yellow tag is. So it doesn't go the full length, and then you don't have any of these part style pouches on the inside like what you do on the MCT. So again, I think there's a little bit more storage internally on the MCT than there is this one, But then you get into the fact that you've got these meter pouches over here on the side. So you can open this one up. You have a pouch over here. You know, you don't have any of this on the MCT that you could put small items into. And then you get your meter pouch along with the tape measure pouch. This is also, this tape measure pouch is solid. It's like a kind of like a place where you can run something solid all the way through. It's not like a stop part right there, so I could even take a screwdriver really and kind of put it in there like that if I wanted to, or any kind of tool, your knife, a flashlight, and put it down through there. So that's a little bit more storage that you're getting in there. Then you open up the meter pouches. You've got two different ways that you can use these. So they open up, you've got a pouch right here, but then you also have spots for tools. So again, you can take screwdrivers, pliers, maybe your most used, to where you don't have to even open up the whole bag. You can come out here, open up this side pouch, get out your most used tools. But then these are also removable as well. So these can come out. You can still put tools inside of these pockets if you're not using those. So here's like the Weehaw little Pico finish. You could put your whole line of those down in there along with some more tools in the back. So that's what I'm saying is you're losing that back half of the storage, but there's all different options. Just depends on what you're going to put in this bag that you can use here. But you can take these out, and then you can even fit something like a thermal imaging camera. I can put that inside of this side. And see that there's no way for me to fit that right there in my MCT. It's just not going to go no matter how I want to do it, unless I took out one of the V-swap panels all together and put stuff in the back side. There's no way I could fit that inside that bag. And then a plus to this is you can use these multiple ways, so they could go into the meter panel. I can also open this up here. They can open up, it's just got magnets right here that you can clip in. They can also go into these side panels over here and give yourself more tool storage on the inside of your bag. Of course, that creeps in on the space that you've got on these, and then also your floor space. But then one neat thing is you can take and put tools in these. So I can put a couple screwdrivers, and then I can also put, you know, a pair of pliers or something inside of there, a couple pairs of pliers. And then these work to where I can take this, slide it down in my pants pocket. So if I've got it over here, but I don't need my bag and I want to use these tools, it gives you a pouch that you can slide this down in your pants pocket, and then the two magnets will stick together, and then it kind of works as a tool pouch that you can carry around and use those tools for that day. So that's super neat in my opinion. I don't know how much I'm going to use it. Again, I haven't used this bag. I haven't put it into use. I'm just sharing with you the features of it and kind of giving you some advantages of it over the Tech MCT, but again, it's got some disadvantages as well. And you do get two of these. There's one in both sides, so I just took this one out of this side. There's also on this side, this is a mirror image, so you still got this same little pouch, the same tape measure, also the same tool pocket over here. So you end up having two of these pouches that you can put both of them inside the main part of the bag. Wear them as both pouches, one on each pants pocket if you want to, or again, because you still have pockets in here, it doesn't make it useless that you can't do this. So as far as your meters go, I just fit the infrared thermometer or the thermal imaging camera on the other side. Here's my Fluke T6 1000 Pro inside the case. I can put that in there as well, and it fits with the leads exactly to the top. So I'll give you a measurement on that, because that's probably something that you're going to need to know. So that's pretty much top to bottom what it is, and I'm right at 10.5 inches. So if your meter's bigger than 10.5, again, you're probably not going to be able to fit that into these spaces in order to do that. So that fits in there no problem. And again, both of these I can either put in there like this, gain some more tool space, put them in the side, use them as pouches, maybe even slide one down in here if I want to, and just use those as pouches. Lots of options. I think this one's more versatile, but again, you just got to look at it and see if you think you're going to have enough room. So out here on the front, you've got a pouch. So you do get one of these parts type pouches, similar to that of the MCT, nowhere near as big. You know, it's only as deep as my fingers are going right there. So however deep that is, not very deep at all. Then you've got another neoprene pouch right here that's as deep as my fingers, and then velcroed shut. And then down here you also get some storage for some bits or anything else that you want to put in there. And then this is also a hoe pocket that goes all the way down to the bottom out in front of this. and that's going to make your bag get fatter though. So the more stuff you put in there, you know, it's going to extend that width of your bag to make it more so like the MCT. So that's just up to you whether or not you want to use that. So that's kind of the interior features, the pockets and all those things. The handle on this MCT Blackout is a much heftier handle. This is pretty stout right here. This is kind of soft, so it's not really, doesn't feel as durable to me as the Tech MCT Blackout, but it's still a Veto bag. It's still going to work out, probably still going to last you as long as you want to use it, so I'm not too worried about that. But here's where the biggest advantages come in with the MB5B over the MCT. If you don't need as much tool storage, which again, you're not really losing as much as what it may seem because you're gaining some stuff on the sides and things like that. Because again, back here you also have that iPad storage that you can use for that. It does have a hook hanger that you can hang it up and then kind of keep your work. So if you're working somewhere on a panel and you've got a way to mount that to the wall or something to where it's kind of working height, that's going to keep you from bending over and doing those things. But the big advantage of the MB5B, especially for me, if I'm going to run it as a second bag with kind of my testers and diagnostic stuff and things like that in it, because I might end up needing to take both bags in. This one also comes with backpack straps. So it's also a backpack. So I could throw this one on my back, carry my SBLD in or my TPLC or whatever other bag I end up using, TP4B if I go back to that. And this one just works by, it's got these loops right here that fit down. You slide it down past, that comes in and catches over top of that webbing. You press that in, slide that over, and then this other side's just got a carabiner that kind of hooks onto it. Down here at the bottom, so you can put both of those on pretty quickly. It's not too awful bad. A little bit harder, I think, in my opinion, to take them off than it is to put them on, but it's also brand new and kind of still being broke in, so it's going to finally get there at some point in time. So overall, not too bad. You can see it here on my back. It's pretty comfortable. I don't have any tools in it, obviously, but it's not overly big. Again, this is a backpack, but it's not a tech pack. If I bought a tech pack, I know I could fit every single tool that I've got in this Tech MCT in there, and then I would also put some other stuff in there, and I wouldn't want to carry it. So I just know that, but I don't live in a city where I'm walking blocks for my job or, you know, all those things. I get out of my truck and I walk into a house or I walk into a commercial space, usually not that big of a walk, but every now and then I might have to carry 2 bags, or I might need to carry my ladder in this tool bag. I can then throw this on my back. I'm not going to probably keep these straps on it all the time, or I may end up doing that. I don't know. I'm not going to at start anyways. I'm just going to keep these in my truck, and then that way I have the option to throw it on my back if I need to carry something else in along with this bag, because again, it's not really going to be my main bag that I take in. I'm going to be using my second bag for that. But every now and then, if I need to carry both of them or I need to carry this with something else, it's nice to be able to put them on my back. I can't do that with this Tech MCT, and again, this bag is fairly heavy. I think it's somewhere around 32 pounds or something like that with the tools that I have in it, and not that that's overly excessively heavy. I just prefer not to have to carry that if it's up to me. But again, I may end up just not really liking this, and I may say I just like to have more tools with me, or I like to take some of these tools out and go ahead and go to the second bag and go back to this one. But overall, I think that this one's going to be a good fit for somebody who doesn't need as many hand tools, but you need to carry some meters, a thermal imaging camera, or whatever else it might be, something like that. I think the fact, again, that you can use these little pouches, throw them in your pocket. Of course, I've got all the MP pouches, so I don't know how often I will probably go that route, in all honesty. But it is nice that you have the option to do it. And just this one's got more places for you to kind of move stuff around and maybe suit your needs, whereas this one, you've got the panels in there and that's about it, and that's all that you can do with it. So I think, again, this one's for somebody who needs the extra equipment, testing equipment. You need a backpack, but you don't want something really big, something really heavy. I think this might be a really good fit for you. And the Tech MCT is somebody who, you got one bag, that's all you want to carry. It holds plenty of tools. It doesn't get too heavy as what some other bags might get. I mean, you can really put some stuff in it. And these pouches on the front and the back on the Blackout, the Tech MCT Blackout, I think, again, it's worth it to buy that, in my opinion. So that's the real advantages and disadvantages to me of this bag. Again, just got this one, so just take my word with a grain of salt between those two. I may find out that this doesn't work well for me at all, but I think you can see those features enough to decide, hopefully, I think I'd rather get this or I think I'd rather get that. Now, the one thing that really kind of irked me as I got into it, because as I looked at these two, I thought, man, them are pretty similar in size. They got the V-swap panels. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just take this panel out and throw it over in this one, or this panel out and throw it over in that one? And in all reality, you should be able to, based on the size of them and all those things, because as I took this one out, again, it just pulls out like so. I've got a V-swap panel here for the Tech MCT Blackout that is just like the bulk storage. And if I take this, it fits right in there. I mean, like it's almost like it was made for. Now, it's a little bit bigger. I got to get it past that first little hump back there. But once you get it in there, it doesn't really do anything. It kind of expands back into the space. It might be a hair bigger width-wise than what it would be. But the problem is the Velcro on this is the soft, and then the Velcro on this is kind of that hard. But they've reversed it on the Tech MCT. This is soft and that's soft, so they don't stick together, because I was hoping that I was going to be able to, if I take out my little side tools over here and get that out of the way. After I kind of thought about the size and I saw the bulk panel fit in there, I was hoping I was going to be able to take out this panel right here, because it actually has a few more tool slots on it. It's kind of hard sometimes to get these out with the tools in it. But I could take that panel and basically just set this right back in there, and it fits in there if you push it back in there, especially if you don't have the thermal imaging camera in there like I do right now. That's kind of pushing in a little bit, but that fits right in there. You should be able to just swap one to the other. Again, it's not like it's a perfect fit, but it fits in there. I mean, I don't feel like it would ever cause any damage or anything like that. And this little tool setup right here, it has just slightly, little bit bigger pockets right in there than what these have. Other than that, it's not a big difference, but I do think all those pockets are deeper, and you've got a little bit more room to come this way. I think I could actually fit more tools in there in that setup than what I can in this one. But the Velcro, again, is backwards, so it's not going to stick in place, because this is soft Velcro and this is soft Velcro, whereas the one for the MB5B is the harder. It's reversed basically. So would have been nice if Veto kind of stayed standard on that, I guess, so that if you did so happen to have, because that's like even these little pouches here, you know, maybe this one, what if I wanted to build my bag and just throw this on top of that? You know, it would just give you more options on all their tool bags if they made it the same all the way around. I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe there's a reason behind it. But again, it's not like they claimed that it would do this. I'm not mad about it or anything, but it's just one of those things where after you get into it, you're like, man, it would have been nicer had it worked out this way. But yeah, guys, that's the Veto Pro Pac MB5B. Again, I just got this, so don't take my word for it on anything about it. I just tried to go over the features. Again, I think it's a good mid-range backpack if you're looking for that. It could be somebody's all-in-one bag for sure. It's got enough room in there to hold all the tools that you really need. But it's just not going to end up holding all the tools that I want it to. But maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what's going to keep me from loading this thing down, because, you know, I'm guilty of it, just like I know how we all are a lot of times. I've got an empty spot right here. Oh, I've got this tool. I might as well shove it in there, even though I might not use it that often. That's what we tend to do. But again, this Tech MCT Blackout, again, my favorite bag so far out of all the Vetos. Time will tell on this one. We'll have to see. And again, once I do a loadout, once I get that SBLD, I'll do a loadout video on this and kind of show you how I'm setting up both those bags at some point in time. I can't, again, do that really until I get that second bag. I'm not going to mess with moving my tools around, because I need to use this on my days while I'm working. So that's what I'm going to do. But let me know in the comments below if you've got the MB5B, what you think about it. If you've got the Tech MCT Blackout, what you think about it. Or if you're buying either one of these bags during the spring promotion, drop that down in the comments below and say why you bought it versus maybe some of the other bags. That might help somebody make the decision as well. But again, hope this video was interesting. Hope it was useful. Let me know in the comments below. But as always, stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.